All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and the land in which you're joining this webinar from today. Pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. And I extend my respects to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. I'm joining from the beautiful Yuin Nation on the south coast of New South Wales. If you would like to share where you're from, pop it in the chat. And thanks for taking the time. So, a little bit about New Leaf for people who don't know what we are. We're a virtual telehealth naturopathic clinic. We've been around for about 15 years in different presentations, but our mission really is to simplify the journey to health, and that is done through good old naturopathic philosophies and naturopathic practices. So, if you've ever seen a naturopath before, you know we look holistically at your health. We look at how you fit into the world around you and how you can improve your health and well-being through tools such as nutrition and herbal medicine and lots of lifestyle ad support as well. So generally we do this one person at a time. But tonight we're going to be talking about group consults, which is how we take those principles of naturopathic practice and the philosophies of New Leaf here and provide this very, very safe, inclusive space for patients to kind of explore their health in shared naturopathic consults. So a little bit about me. I'm a naturopath and herbalist and clinical nutritionist. I've been practicing for about 15 years as a naturopath. I love my job. I'm very passionate about it and I love helping people. I've worked with thousands of clients over the years to make long-lasting change. And I know that because once they're better, I don't see them again. And that is actually the goal of a good naturopath, is to send you on your way with all the tools that you have to look after yourself and your family and chosen family and the people around you as well. Because education really is at the heart of what we like to do here. And particularly with endometriosis, education about how to care for yourself needs to be personalized, and it needs to be really practical as well. So I live on the south coast of New South Wales. I love cats. I love vegetables, and I also really love my profession. I'm currently the president of the Naturopaths and Herbalist Association of Australia, so I do lots of advocacy for the profession in that space as well. So, what are group consults? This is the really important thing and why you're all here tonight to learn about them. So, first of all, group consults is not a group education session, which is what this is tonight. It's a consult. That is what you get. You get individualized naturopathic care in a group sitting. These are very evidence-based programs of care. They've been used in health settings from Western medicines and complementary medicines for a very long time. And the benefits that we see for patients and for practitioners are very long lasting. So, a little bit of inspiration, a lot of accountability. You get peer support and connection as well. So, the group consults and shared naturopathic consults really lead themselves well for complex conditions because if you are suffering with endometriosis, you'll know that it's more than just heavy, painful periods that you're experiencing. The challenges that you face to manage your health impact everything from your digestion to your sleep to your stress to your intimacy. There's so many aspects of your life that are impacted by these complex conditions. And unpacking them with other people who have the same conditions as you is also really important. So we provide a really safe place to do that. It's not a everyone's heart on your sleeves share session. It is really guided and safe for you to have one-on-one naturopathic care with me while you're sitting in the room, a virtual room with other people, which sounds kind of weird at first. But I will tell the little story that I always say when we're talking to people about group consults. The very first group consult I did in 2021, there were 9 people with endometriosis in the room, and we got to the first round of the first part where we were doing consults in the first session. And I think the first or second person started talking about challenges that she was having in her sex life with her partner. And I just thought to myself, well, listen, if this is where we're going from day one, we're going all in, we're going all there. People are really sharing their details of their lives in a way that feels safe, then we're going to be absolutely fine running these groups. And I haven't looked back since then. So, why do shared naturopathic appointments work so well for people with endometriosis? Well, one of the things about endometriosis is that it is incredibly isolating sometimes. There's a lot more communities online, as you can see. There's lots of space in social media where people are talking and discussing endometriosis these days. But a lot of the pain, a lot of the lifestyle that you have, it's invisible. It takes a long time for you to get it diagnosed. And a lot of the people in your life feel sometimes that they may not really understand what's going on. And I think also for a lot of the endo people that I speak to, they feel really worried about burdening other people with it. They don't feel like they don't want to be a pain all the time. They feel like they kind of say enough, and surely people are sick of hearing about them. Well, the group consults are a safe place for you to never feel sick about talking about them. It's your time to share. And so what we see is having that conversation in a room full of people who know exactly what you're going through, is very nourishing and very healing. And that's definitely what the evidence, of these shared naturopathic consults tell us is about as well. So it is about getting clinical care. This is exactly it. You are getting one-on-one individualized treatment. It's not a program where every patient in the room gets the same herb and the same dietary advice. My job as the practitioner is to guide you with what you individually need, set that up in the group consult, and then move on to the next person so you can do that as well. And one of the most beautiful things that I've seen as we do these groups is you hear someone else answer a question or talk about a situation in their life about their endometriosis, and it sparks a feeling like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was a thing for me. That totally happens for me as well. Like you wouldn't think to ask, you don't know what to ask unless you know what to ask, I think is a really good question. So it's really empowering for you to understand a lot of your health, because you hear the experiences of other people as well, which I think is fantastic. So, as I said, there is quite a lot of research that backs up these cases. Research is very important. I'm not going to go into all the trials and the clinical studies, but what the clinical trials tell us about this research is about we see immense measures improvements in the quality of life, trust in your care, your health knowledge and literacy goes through the roof. That reduction of isolation is also so important for that work as well. So, as I said, it's not group education, which is what tonight is, me talking to you about something. It's about clinical appointments like you've seen, with a naturopath or any health professional that you would go to as well. And I guess it's important to understand about the consistency of the sessions. So how I run it at New Leaf is we have one appointment with you, one-on-one, but to get you started. So I learn all about you, learn about your history, and then through the group sessions, we have one appointment every 3 weeks. It's the same people in the group, so you learn and grow at the same time as everybody. And it's that consistency of care that is actually incredibly beneficial. It's a commitment that you make to do those 5 sessions. And I would say at the end of it, you will be so armed with lots of knowledge on how to look after yourself, and hopefully have a really clear path on where to go, regardless of where you are on your journey with endometriosis or adenomyosis. But it is that consistency that makes all the difference. So, some of the things that we talk about on the Endo group, it is actually led by you, the patients, the things that you are coming, the questions that you have. We really target, what you need. So we talk about nutrition and food. We talk about particular things that might be helpful for you to include in your diet. We look at herbal and supplement prescriptions of nutrients, lots of lifestyle support, lots of mental health support. We often do have guest appearances. That makes it sound like there's going to be some kind of rock star there, but it's often, maybe a pelvic physio to give us some instruction, or a Pilates instructor, or someone to do a meditation with us. There's lots of different ways that sometimes as the groups progress, we get other people to come and help, depending on what you need. We do go through your results. I do recommend pathology and any functional testing in those appointments as well. And we look at all the symptoms that I kind of mentioned at the beginning and more. As I said, it's not just about managing those heavy, painful periods. It really is about looking at the whole complex nature of endometriosis so we can actually work out what you need. So, chronic pain, Digestive health is huge for endometriosis, understanding the immune health and inflammation, which is an absolute driver of the inflammation of endometriosis. We do talk about environmental exposures, understanding how you can keep your world safe to keep you safe. Um, a huge component is looking after your mental health and anxiety, and definitely looking after sleep. These are some of the areas of education that we kind of go through every week as well. So how does it work? As I said, there's 5 sessions over 15 weeks. Each session starts with a little check-in. We have some education set up where we'll talk about one of those topics in detail. I'll talk about some general research and support, something that you'll be able to take away and implement in your life. And then we start with our one-on-one sessions. So I'll move through the group. I'll try and mix it up. So, it's not always the first person going first and the last person going last. But you will do sort of one-on-one sessions with me and everyone will listen. There is a chat. We keep it really kind in the chat. We're really mindful of advice giving and making sure that you are absolutely there to listen to experts, but also understanding that you as the participant are an expert in your body as well, and that's incredibly valid in this space. So at each session, you do get an updated treatment plan, and this may sound like a lot of tap dancing for you, so I don't do it on my own. That's also really important to understand. Holding space and working with 6 patients at once. As I said, I've worked up to 9 or 12. But anywhere between 3 and 4 or 5 is a great number as well. I always have a qualified facilitator in the room to help wrangle us, I guess, to help time keep, to help us make sure that they're taking notes, that they can share any resources with you, and support us. And if you are needing a one-on-one with me, say there's something that you don't feel comfortable sharing in the group, you might want to step out and have in a breakout room with me. The facilitator takes over and looks after the group while we're out of the room. So we have a lovely facilitator, Sarah. She's on the call tonight as well. She can wave and say hello. Sarah is a beautiful naturopath who also just happens to be on the south coast of New South Wales, by total coincidence. And she's an incredibly experienced naturopath, worked with women's health, children's health for a very long time, and is just really fascinated about working with group consults. And so she's done the training and qualifications in facilitating shared medical consults, which is the same training that I have done as well. And a little bit about Sarah, I guess, we were just laughing what she likes to do. And I know that she loves making pottery, and I see some of the things that she makes on Instagram, and she's very good at it, I have to say. But she also made a point of saying, please say that I like a margarita cocktail because I had one on the weekend and it was delicious. And so that's Sarah. So yeah, hi, do you want to say hello, Sarah, to the group?
Hey everyone, am I on? I can't tell.
Yeah, I think you're on. Just
Hello. It's not true about the margarita. You made it sound, much
not all
more.
the time, just everything in moderation. Life is about balance here at New Leaf. So
Yeah,
that's
it was very delicious.
so Sarah will be in the group with us as well, holding the space, timekeeping, keeping on top of us, and helping you on the journey as well. So I think it really helps to have a very kind, experienced facilitator in these groups who understands the condition as well. And Sarah is exactly the right person to do that. So we're really speeding through it. So if you have any questions, start popping them in the chat as well. Happy to answer any of them. When's it happening? The Endo Group is kicking off on the 3rd of June, which is quite soon, 5 p.m. So it happens every 3 months, on the 3rd of from 5 p.m. on the 3rd of June. It's a 90-minute session. So, and you do need to turn up at every session, but obviously, understandably, something goes wrong and you can't come. The recordings of each session are only there for the first part of the session, which is the education part of the session. We don't record the consults because that would be something that we're not feeling comfortable with privacy. So if you do have to miss it, we really encourage you not to, because it's part of that continuity of care, as I said. We can share that section for you as well. But also, we're really flexible. My our practice manager, Kyoko, is really great at helping everyone get what they need to do when it comes to juggling the clinic as well. But if there's a time that suits better and there's enough people to run the group, I'm more than happy to look at other times as well that are available. So let us know in the chat or via email if there's a particular time of day that you would like to make a session, and we can try and make that happen for you as well. And I think it's important to sort of just reiterate that every patient, if you're a new patient of the clinic, you will get a one-on-one with me beforehand as part of it. So as I said, that's the time when we go through your case. So when we get to the group consults, you'll know exactly, I'll know exactly all about you and where we need to start with our treatment as well. And just see a little question in here. Oh, I'll get to that one. I'll get to that one. That's a good question. That's good. Let me just keep going before I do that. All right, so how much does it cost? So really $90 per session for a 90-minute appointment with a naturopath. This is us really trying to make affordable naturopathic care available to people. And so there is, as I said, there is 90 dollars per session plus an extra 95 for the one-on-one with me. So you can pay up front, you can pay on a payment plan. If you're ready to get started before the June 3rd intake, which I recommend that you do, we've got a couple of people in there. There's only a couple spots left, which is great. You can head to the website, book an appointment with me, which is the Endo Group check-in one-on-one, and in sometime before the 3rd of June in my calendar, and you will then everything will get underway and we'll get it happening. Another really exciting thing is there are private health rebates which have been started again recently for naturopathic consultations, and through some beautiful advocacy that we've done for the profession, group consults are eligible. There is a code for that, but you need to contact your private health insurance to make sure that they are covering it as well. So that's really important. We do have a list of health funds at the moment. There will be more coming online throughout the year. So I think at the beginning we've got ARHG, which is a regional health fund. There's quite a few in the ARHG group, and CBHS is also accepting consults for naturopathy. And we've got Medibank and AHM coming in June or July. So they are rolling out this year, which is great. And also that helps you get a little bit more money back if you have private health insurance rebates. So as I said, what happens if you're interested? Book that one-on-one with me before the 3rd of June. Let's get started. If you have questions, we can chat about them now. If not, you can email us. We're more than happy to answer any of those questions that you have. And what if group consults aren't for you, which they're not for everyone? We are still doing one-on-one care at New Leaf for people. We love seeing people, we love helping them. So you can always book your one-on-one appointment as well. And I do think, one of the questions that we kind of always have is, well, what happens after the group consults? Once I've done my 5 sessions, is that it? Well, I like to think that from those 5 sessions, you would have a lot of foundation to be able to set that direction of the care that your body needs for managing your treatment. Sometimes people do need check-ins, one-on-ones ongoing. We do offer drop-in appointments for endometriosis as well to kind of help with that continued care. So there's a few options once you finish the group to make sure that you are on track as well. So any questions, I'll stop sharing. I think there was a good one there, and I will work out how to stop sharing. There we go. And I'll pull up this chat, which was, what's one tip you could share about endo to see what type of info we would be gaining? Oh, great. That's a good question. So I guess as I said, some of the things that we'll talk about are all in that list of areas that I kind of start on. But sometimes what turns up is that I'll do my group consult, my one-on-one consults with everyone, and it turns out that everyone that week is experiencing, questions about endobelly or feeling bloated. And I'll say, you know what, we're going to do next week at the beginning, we're going to do an education session all about that. So all of you get all your questions answered in one go. Other things we talk about is diet and nutrition. So I'll always personalize your diet recommendations because that is the premise of naturopathy. But also, I do think that there are some principles that are sort of naturopathic support that are actually really helpful for people to focus on. So we'll look at the evidence behind some simple ways of eating that are actually some good inclusions for you to be able to do. Education is a huge part of what it is. So understanding your pain cycle is also a huge area that I like to spend a bit of time talking to people about as well, because you may be experiencing pain in lots of different ways, in different parts of your body. And if we can help educate you as to why you're experiencing that pain and help you understand it, then that goes a long way for you start feeling agency over your body again. So that hopefully that answers a couple of questions. There's something very strange has gone on in tonight's Zoom where people keep popping in with my name in there, which is very strange. So I know that wasn't Hannah Boyd Gmail that came in there, but thanks anyway, whoever you were, for asking that question. So if anyone else has any other questions, pop them in now, or any thoughts they'd like to share, please let us know. And if not, well, I'll hang around if you want to speak to me, or you can send us an email, as I said, gethealthy@new-leaf.com.au, or just sort of pop online and book that first consult to get started. And we'll get you in the group starting on the 3rd of June. Do you know if NIB covers naturopaths? Great question. NIB is on the list for us to hit up, hopefully by the end of the year. I can answer these questions because I can know a little bit about because we've been doing it for the associations as well. They can all cover it. All the health funds are allowed to cover naturopathy now. It's up to them to decide how they put that in. Some of them are rolling it out this year. I think NIB were thinking about doing it by the end of the year as well. And obviously, the amount of rebate that you get back depends on your cover and whether you have naturopathy as an extra. So that might be one of the things that you should do is just call up and check your extras. If you do have them for, massage or osteopath or other things like that, you might just want to make sure that naturopathy is on there, and then you can claim your appointments, which is great. Which is how it used to be before 2019 when our patients could get some money back for their appointments. So really excited to see that back for our patients. It just makes all the care a little bit more accessible. Any more questions? Don't be shy. Do I have any patients that have gone through endometriosis, ovarian cancer as well? Yes, I have supported people that have been through ovarian cancer. Often, if people are in active treatment, I will refer to some of my lovely colleagues who specialize in cancer care. But yes, we do have people that have been through treatments for those things. There are a few people and a few conditions that probably aren't suitable for group consults, which I think is really great question that comes out of this, particularly for endometriosis. So it is listed on the website as well, some of the things that I think would be beneficial for people to have one-on-one consults. So if you are in active treatment for cancer, because it is complex, I would recommend a one-on-one, not group consults. I think also people who are actively trying to have a baby, infertility journeys, and managing endometriosis, I would recommend that you have one-on-one appointments as well, because I do think that that is more beneficial and kind to you and kind to the other people in the group as well, because we want to make the group about endometriosis and all the other things around it. I mean, I guess when we treat endometriosis or support endometriosis, we are looking at gut health and vaginal microbiome and immune health. We are looking at all those things, but always from a lens of endometriosis. So throwing in other conditions can just not complicated, but make it more complicated to do in a group setting. So I guess if you have any questions about other conditions that you have, I would sort of reach out saying, is this suitable? Sometimes we definitely clear that up in the first intake as well. If someone is not suitable for the group, I'll always let them know as well. How are prescriptions obtained by patients as a preference for herbal tonics or supplements? Well, we use online prescribe dispensaries for all our supplements. That's the beauty of being a virtual clinic, Bianca. Thanks. That's a great question. We set people up. It's very easy to access and order them. There's a few different platforms that we use depending on what you do. And do we have a preference for herbs or supplements? Well, no, we don't have a preference. We look at what the patient needs and individualizing. Sometimes patients need that bottle of herbs. I guess you're asking because you probably had a bottle of herbs before, which is also great if you know what a herbal tonic is. But not everyone needs them, or sometimes they're not suitable for people. So we do use herbs in tablets and powders and liquids and lots of herbal teas as well, supplements as well in lots of forms. So it really is about what you need, not what everyone needs for endo. Great. I love that you've had herbal tonics before. Hopefully it was a pleasant experience. But once you've tried them and you've seen the benefits of them, they can be so amazing for people. I do love my herbs a lot. So yeah, we've got some great online dispensaries as well that make it super easy for you to access all your prescriptions. Also, if there's something available from the chemist or the health food store, I will always send people there as well. Whatever's the easiest and the most affordable and the most practical, but as long as it's going to work, that's the thing. And I guess there are very good products that you can get from the health food stores and the chemists, but you just kind of need to know what they are. So it really, one of the point of having affordable care is making it affordable and available for people and working with your where you're at this point of time. One of the women from one of my first groups, she didn't have a lot of disposable income to buy supplements, but the work that we did with her during those there were 6 sessions over 12 weeks, about working on her diet and lifestyle, her outcomes by the end of it, just from making really simple changes in how she was approaching her everyday life without fancy fanfare of lots of supplements, just made a huge impact to her health and her lifestyle. So it really is about getting back to those very simple naturopathic principles of how can we care for ourselves on our own in our own homes as well. So yeah, slightly long answer. I hope that answered the question, Bianca. Any more questions before we log off? If you have any, as I said, just shoot us an email. We're here to help. You can hit reply to any of the reminders that came through. And yeah, thank you for everyone for turning up tonight. I really appreciate the time that you took and being interested in this. And if you've got questions, as I said, send them through. And I hope I'll see you soon. If not in this round, in another round of Endo support group as well. So thanks, everyone.